if Ilia Topuria defeats Charles Oliveira to become the new UFC lightweight champion. He says he's not interested in defending the title against Islam Makhachev if Islam loses to Jack Della Maddalena and moves back down to lightweight. Ilia said if he loses, I'll give him nothing. If he loses, nothing. Let him get in line. Ilia also has no interest in defending the belt against Arman Tsarukyan, who is the official backup fighter this weekend. He continued, I don't think that they're going to give Arman an immediate title shot. Well, I'm not going to give it to him because I don't see Arman as a contender who deserves it. The UFC once had an incident with me with a weight cut when I was fighting at featherweight. They moved me up to the next division, made me clean up my mistakes, and then I had to come back and they gave me another fight. So why would they give Arman that opportunity? Fight announcements. Johnny Walker vs. Zhang Mingyang is set for UFC Shanghai on August 23rd. Walker enters the fight looking to snap a 2-fight skid after suffering a second-round KO loss to Magomed Ankalaev and a first-round KO loss to Volkan Ozdemir. Meanwhile, Mingyang is riding a 12-fight winning streak, including a first-round TKO over Anthony Smith this past April. Additionally, Aljamain Sterling will take on Brian Ortega on the same card. Sterling is coming off a unanimous decision loss to Movsar Evloev, while Ortega also dropped a unanimous decision in his most recent fight against Diego Lopez. Kevin Holland vs. Daniel Rodriguez has been booked for UFC 318 on July 19th. Holland is currently on a 2-fight winning streak, most recently submitting Vicente Luque in the second round. D-Rod is also riding back-to-back wins, with his latest being a third-round TKO over Santiago Ponzinibbio. Following the news of John Jones retiring and Tom Aspinall becoming the undisputed UFC heavyweight champion, Tom says he wants to fight twice this year due to all the time he's been sitting out. In an interview with the Diary of a CEO, Tom said, "Yeah, I'm going to be fighting hopefully twice this year. That's my plan at least. I think I've wasted enough time. We're looking to get a fight booked quick. It's looking like it's going to be pretty soon anyway. Hopefully, if everything goes well in the first one, and I'm uninjured, which is, it's easier said than done, getting through a fight with a guy my size and coming out with no injuries, but if I can do that, I'd like to fight at the end of the year as well." Right now, the fighter Tom will most likely face next is Ciryl Gane. Gane told UFC Unfiltered yesterday that his manager spoke to Hunter Campbell, and they believe he will be challenging Tom for the belt next. Charles Oliveira is confident he'll reclaim the UFC lightweight title this weekend with a win over Ilia Topuria. Earlier this week, Topuria noted that he's usually the one pressing forward in his fights, but since Oliveira tends to do the same, he believes he'll finish Charles within 2 to 3 minutes. Oliveira, for his part, confirmed that he has no plans to change his approach, and he'll be walking forward and fighting his usual aggressive style.
Com certeza algo gigante.
It's enormous, and when I talk about legacy, that's what I'm talking about. To fight for a title, and an opportunity to even increase this legacy.
Simplesmente seu.
Just simply be myself. It's always just push forward, charge forward, walk forward. That's what I do. It's just be myself and do that. I've worked a lot to become a champion, to be a champion, and I'm sure I'm going to be a champion again.
Com certeza algo gigante.
Of course, enormous, because the UFC always puts people, if they want to show what they came here for, they put me in front of them, and I just keep doing what I do. As I said, I respect them a lot, but my story is my legacy that I'm the one that can do. I came to the UFC to make history. I am illuminated. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm going to be a champion again. I'm going to become a champion once again.
Dustin Poirier believes Ilia Topuria will likely beat Charles Oliveira this weekend. He explains why he thinks Charles should fight Ilia the same way he fought him back in 2021, which Dustin lost via rear naked choke in the 3rd round. Speaking to MMA Junkie, Dustin said Charles does get hit a lot. I got some people on me on Twitter for saying I think Ilia is going to beat Charles, but that's just what I think. Charles does take a lot of shots, and Ilia is a guy who, we haven't seen it really, but he's confident in his jiu-jitsu. He's going to follow Charles down. When I hurt Charles, and it's rinse and repeat, a lot of guys have hurt Charles, but we try to make him get back up and touch him again. I think Ilia, if he does sit Charles down, he's going to follow him, get into his guard. We've seen Charles when guys go into his guard and play jiu-jitsu with him and aren't afraid of that. He starts breaking a little bit, I think, but we'll see which Charles shows up. It's a fun fight. It's a fun matchup. I think Charles needs to fight Ilia the same way he fought me. He was all the way in or he was all the way out. He never really fought me at a boxing range. If he was in, it was clinch work, body locks, a lot of energy, but he smothered my boxing. Or he was kicking at range, using those long front kicks. He's a long rangy guy. He needs to be all the way in or all the way out. He cannot play the boxing pocket game. He needs to be clinching. He doesn't need to be exchanging shots in the pocket with a shorter guy who can crack. I think Ilia does have good takedown defense, and Charles, even being big, I was able to stop a lot of his shots against the fence and make him go back to the body lock. He eventually got underneath me and got around to my back and jumped on my back like a Jansport. So if he can close the distance and get into that clinch work with Ilia, instead of boxing there or trying to dirty boxing, holding one tie, I think he needs to use that body lock. Try to get behind him. If he can close the distance and get a hold of Ilia's body being the longer guy, maybe he can creep around to the back. I mean, Charles could finish anybody if he gets their back. Gilbert Burns broke down the paths to victory for both Renato Moicano and Beneil Dariush ahead of their upcoming fight this weekend. He believes their grappling skills will cancel each other out, turning the fight into a striking battle. In Burns' eyes, it'll come down to who lands the first knockdown.
He's gonna turn to a kickboxing match. If Beneil Dariush knock down Moicano, it's gonna be hard for Moicano to get out because those guys have good jiu-jitsu, good ground and pound. Best case scenario for Beneil is that knock down Moicano, be on top, control, maybe a little jiu-jitsu, but control, win that round, control, maybe try to get a finish. But then we go to the other side. Moicano, best scenario is to knock down Beneil, and it can happen. And Moicano on top, Moicano ground and pound, he's so much better that Moicano can get a TKO finish if he does apply a knockdown. So that's how the fight goes. I think best scenario for both guys to knock down each other. But then we go back to the fights. Whoever beat Beneil last couple fights was just freaking Charles Oliveira and Arman Tsarukyan. Other than that, he been looking very, very good.
Right.
If we go back in the days, we got the knockout that he lost to Alexandre. We got a couple other guys.
He's also been hurt in some fights.
He been hurt.
What was that iconic Beneil Dariush fight?
Drakkar closed.
Yes, Drakkar closed.
But then he came back. You know, he got hurt and he came back.
I always remember it's the Joe Rogan meme face.
Joe Rogan go crazy.
Bro.
Islam Makhachev explains why he decided to move up to the welterweight division to challenge Jack Della Maddalena for the belt. He admits that it's going to be a tough fight. Speaking to MMA Junkie, Islam said, because right now it's the best time. I was waiting for Arman Tsarukyan because he also have a very good win streak and people were waiting for this fight. He pulled out in the last fight and I don't see some interesting fights in my division. That's why I made the decision to move up, because now they have a new champion, a very good fighter, Jack Della Maddalena, and it's a fight that's making me train every day, make me wake up early morning. Everybody think Hunter Campbell came to make fight with Topuria, but he was here. We talked about fight against the winner between Maddalena and Bilal. He told me, I know Bilal is your friend, but this is a sport. Shake hands, fight, after the fight respect, and that's it. Just see who is the best fighter in the world. We have big discussions about that, and I told him let's wait for the fight when Bilal fights with Maddalena. We will see after that what we have to do. Because right after the fight against Renato Moicano at UFC 311 in Los Angeles, Hunter came to my locker room. Now it's the good time, any day. When you want to move up, you have the opportunity. Just tell us. I want to hold the belt from the lightweight, but it's not possible. Because I fight in January and we wait. If I fight with Maddalena, when is it going to be? October, November? Fight again in February? Ramadan is beginning. Holding more than 1 year the lightweight belt, it's not what I want to do. It's going to be a hard fight. I saw his fight against Bilal. He's good. He's good. When he began fighting in the UFC, he had problems with wrestling, but now he's improved because I see him training with a lot of wrestlers, with the grapplers, and that's why he's a champion right now and he's good everywhere. But we will see who is the best fighter in the world very soon. Kai Kara France is set to challenge Alexandre Pantoja for the flyweight belt at UFC 317. Kai says he's ready for a 5-round war. However, he wants to be the first person to knock Pantoja out in the UFC.
I'm expecting a dogfight. I'm expecting a 5-round war. You know, he's one of the best guys in the division, and he's been at the top for years. But I'm ready for it. Whatever he's bringing, we'll have an answer for. But I'm not taking a back step. The thing is, for this fight, I'm coming straight forward and I'm staying in the fire. And you know, on paper, people are saying, you know, he's going to just try to get you to the ground. but I've got one of the best takedown defenses in this flyweight division, and I've got 12 knockouts on my record, so I can finish the fight. It's just finding my targets, finding my shots, being patient, and I want to be the first one to knock Pantoja out in the UFC.
George St. Pierre has weighed in on the star power issue in the UFC. GSP thinks the UFC does have stars, but pointed out that they had big names like Sean O'Malley, Israel Adesanya, and Alex Pereira. But with all of them recently losing, GSP says it's not ideal for the promotion. He went on to say Conor McGregor, I believe, is an anomaly. Love me, hate me, but don't ignore me. He did something that was unbelievable. It's hard to try to recreate that. It will happen at some point for sure. Records are made to be broken, but right now, because nobody can do what Conor has done. I don't think it's because they don't have any stars. They have stars. They had Sean O'Malley, but now Sean O'Malley lost. They had Israel Adesanya. He lost a few times. It's unfortunate for UFC because he was a big name. Alex Pereira, same thing, just lost. As a businessman, I think the goal of UFC is to make money. Number one, it's not good for them because if one of their superstars lose, it's not good. But on the other side, I don't think they necessarily try to give, I mean, they might do it sometimes, to give a good dancing partner to certain guys so it promotes them. But when you're champion, you take the number one contender. That's how it should be. That's the difference between boxing and MMA. We always criticize boxing because, oh, there's guys that have 60-0, 40-0, 30-0, but they don't really have a strong challenge. The reason why people love mixed martial arts is because when you're champion, you're fighting the number one contender, and it's not up to you to choose, and this should not change. That's how it was in my time. That's how it should be now. The champion has nothing to say. You fight who is in front, and that's how it should be. The UFC should take action. Ilia Topuria ran into Charles Oliveira last night. He posted footage of their interaction on X. He wrote, "That's how our sport is. It's never personal. Everyone's just fighting for their dreams." Magomed Ankalaev teases that he's fighting Alex Pereira in October. Ank was not impressed with Khalil Rountree's performance over Jamal Hill. He wrote, "Your daddy is next, Alex. Bumtree, take a seat. Terrible fight." He followed up with October, "I will close the page, end this guy career, no mercy." So do you guys remember the Liver King? The guy on social media who would eat raw liver amongst other raw organs and claimed to be fully natural and then got exposed for taking a bunch of PEDs? Well, he was arrested yesterday after making threats to Joe Rogan and documented the entire thing on his Instagram.
Yeah. Man, these items are for people in the back of the car. Just pulling up. Guess what? You're dead. You're dead. You're dead. I haven't slept. I've been waiting. King time. Joe Rogan, I'm calling you out. Man to man. I'm picking a fight with you. Record anything and everything. Because Joe Rogan. All of this is happening. We're coming to you. I've challenged you man to man to a fight. What happens next to you, you're going to need to remember that feeling. You're going to need something more than what you did. Willing to die, hoping that you'll choke me out. I pray to God, because that's a dream come true. It feels good. We're going to kick Joe Rogan. The real G said it. We're coming to Austin. Joe Rogan, you know why. We're coming.
You, Joe Rogan. You, Joe Rogan. You. I don't want to kill you. I don't want to do that. Why would I want to kill you? And you have a family. I wouldn't want to take you away from your family. I wouldn't want that to happen.
Now, to add some backstory, the likely reason Liver King is upset with Joe is because Joe hasn't bought his gimmick from the beginning. Joe was calling him out for using PEDs for months even prior to him getting exposed.
Says he's clean too. I asked him about steroids.
Not true.
Well, the podcast comes out on Birdcast. Everyone check it out.
I'll tell you that right now. Test that guy.
Now, Joe Rogan has yet to directly comment on this situation just yet. However, it appears that Joe may have filed a restraining order against the Liver King. In a new video posted to his Instagram, the Liver King also reveals he is now wearing an ankle monitor after his arrest.
I've been given the gift of a restraining order just recently. And so if anybody knows if someone else whose first name rhymes with blow, whose last name is Rogan, I'm not allowed to say it for copyright. I might sue you about You're not allowed to laugh. I'll put you in jail on that one too. If anybody knows if he's around the Capitol, there's a restraining. I'm not allowed to say that either. Just let me know if he'll be within 200 yards. How do I say this without saying, oh, this is tough. If your first name starts with a J and the last name is Rogan, I actually do invite your family, and I take it back. I invite you to come to meet my family. That's what I invite. But because of these things, the ankle monitor, stuff like that, and because of the law, I can't invite you to do that. Not tonight. Not until after July, this date, after these things are resolved, which I can't say.
And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's from Jose. It says, John Jones retired from MMA to focus on his criminal career. Respect. The second one's from See This Mess. It says, Tom's father is right. It felt like they said, oh yeah, by the way, I guess that makes Tom the heavyweight champion now. And the final one's from Doom Studios. It says, Gon is the type of UFC fighter to get infinite title shots. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.